I've called it the greatest treasonous scandal cover-up in the history of the United States of America, and I can't wait to share this with you because it's more than just a tiny clip, and it is a very, very small clip, but it's just, it's delicioso beautiful in all its aspects. It's bigger than just Pocahontas being utterly embarrassed. Watch this vermin squirm when confronted with the truth about the Biden cover-up, but this is emblematic of the entire hypocrite party that we need to continually expose because we still have people destroying Tesla dealerships. We still have so many Americans, fellow citizens, who are completely brainwashed to this hyper anti-American agenda. So sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, grab your favorite snack. Your boy Nez is going to take care of everything. I've got a lot to share with you. Huge announcement from Pam Bondi, huge announcement from the Attorney General of the United States of America. Dr. Anthony Fauci, a watchdog group, uncovered something phenomenally egregious and full of fraud. I'm going to tell you about that in a second. 60 Minutes producer Bill Owens resigns. Wait till you hear the reason for that. And then, remember Van Hollow and the Dems MS-13 caucus who care more about El Salvadorian illegal criminal gangs than actual Americans? Remember when he says he never asked, I never asked Kilmar whether he was MS-13 because I knew the answer. Well, of course, right? Well, I wonder if he ever asked the actual people that he's supposed to represent, besides, you know, the offensive affront of denying and ignoring Patty Morin, whose daughter was brutally murdered. Did he ever even ask any Maryland residents if they want him using their money to travel for this PR stunt? I've got a beautiful clip to share with you of Maryland residents. Woo, you don't want to miss that. And then the final story, the judge who did not file charges against Tesla vandal Dylan Bryan Adams, who works for Tim Waltz. Wait till you hear. I've got a big breakthrough on that as well. First, Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren acting a complete lion-ass degenerate LAD. Watch this.
Do you regret saying that President Biden had a mental acuity? He had a sharpness to him. You said that up until July of last year.
I said what I believe to be true.
And you think he was as sharp as you?
I said I had not seen decline. And I hadn't at that point.
You did not see any decline from 2024 Joe Biden to 2021 Joe Biden?
Not when I said that. You know, the thing is, he was sharp. He was on his feet. I saw him. Live event. I had meetings with him a couple of times.
Senator, on his feet is not praise. He can speak in sentences is not praise.
All right, fair enough.
Boy, you can just tell that was the last thing she wanted. And it's a wonder why they have the lowest approval rating in the history of their party. I mean, there is not an authentic bone in this entire caucus. There is not a real, honest human being in this swamp vermin regalia called the Democrats. It is so sad and pathetic, which is why I stand by my word, everybody. I truly believe, and I think probably Obama is behind this, Stephen A. Smith is going to run in 2028. And he's going to win the nomination for the Democrats. Trump changed everything. And the fact that he's doing this is not by accident. The fact that all of a sudden he's talking about politics. He used to talk about basketball all the time. Now it's all about politics. That is by design. It is not by accident. Mark my words, bookmark this. I can't wait to get your thoughts on Pocahontas. Did you see her squirm? That's the entire party. That's who they are. I know these people. I've worked with these people. I'm surprised they even have 20% approval rating, aren't you? Okay, this is a huge, just breaking news. Pam Bondi has just made a huge announcement on a new task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias. Watch this.
Thank you all for joining us today. We're excited to be here for the launch of the task force to eradicate anti-Christian bias as outlined in the President's executive order. Joining me today are members of the task force and individuals who have been impacted by the anti-Christian bias. Together, this task force will identify any unlawful anti-Christian policies, practices, or conduct across the government, seek input from the faith-based organizations and state governments to end anti-Christian bias, find and fix deficiencies in existing and regulatory practices that might contribute to the anti-Christian bias. As President Trump has stated, the Biden administration engaged in an egregious pattern of targeting peaceful Christians while ignoring violent anti-Christian offenses. The president is right. Biden's Department of Justice abused and targeted Christians. Pro-life Christians were arrested and imprisoned for peacefully praying outside abortion clinics. The FBI spied on traditional Catholics in their parishes. President Biden declared Easter Sunday to be Transgender Day of Visibility. No longer.
It's interesting how the other side wants to talk about, well, it's not about him being a gangster or a terrorist who, belongs to groups that have absolutely tyrannized American citizens. No, it's about his due process. We're talking about the Constitution here when they arrested people who were just simply practicing their God-given constitutional right of religious expression and freedom of religion, and they were prosecuted without any due process. What could be less harmless than praying in front of an abortion clinic? Being arrested for that? How is that possible? Well, guess what? The Department of Justice, Pam Bondi, just discovered that all of those allegations, all of those implications were absolutely 100% true. And I think this is a huge, huge step forward. I'm very happy to hear of this announcement. By the way, just really quickly, I wasn't planning on talking about this too, but there is also an announcement by the NIH director, Bobby Kennedy Jr., who is saying that they are going to remove food dyes, harmful food dyes, from the U.S. food supply. I think that's a huge win as well. This is what we voted for. This is what Trump campaigned on, and promises made, promises kept. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. Okay, our next story has to do with Dr. Anthony Fauci. If you missed my live stream, I did a live stream just a couple of days ago, and in that live stream, we talked about the Trump administration releasing thousands of investigative uncoverings that the Wuhan, China virus did in fact, and it contradicted everything Fauci said, did in fact come from a lab leak. Well, guess what? Check this out. So Fauci, his fortune, a new watchdog group has just found out that his fortune doubled between early 2019 and the end of 2023 over the course of the pandemic, including, quote, during the worst of the draconian COVID lockdowns, end quote. Again, according to records obtained by a watchdog group, Fauci's net worth was about $7.6 million in January 2019 before COVID-19 hit, and surged to about $15 million, more than double by the end of 2023. 141 pages of financial disclosure forms obtained by Watchdog Group opened the books, revealed. Holy macadamia nut. So again, he lied. He lied about everything. It's been uncovered time and time again that he lied about almost every facet, from social distancing to vaccines to the origin, proximal origin of the actual virus. He lied about everything. And now we have unequivocal financial verified proof that he doubled, more than doubled, his net worth during the worst period of COVID. Holy macadamia nut. This is insane. How many of you hope that Pam Bondi and the Department of Justice will pursue federal prosecution of Anthony Fauci? This is insane. I mean, Rand Paul was right. He was right. History will tell us how evil you truly are, Dr. Fauci. And you know what? It seems like it's happening a lot quicker than we had expected. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. Okay, more breaking news too. Top 60 Minutes producer Bill Owens resigns amid the lawsuit that Trump has implemented. Remember when they doctored the answer of Kamala Harris in that Bill Withers interview, where they essentially tried to edit out her ridiculous word salad answer to make her look smarter? That was unequivocally election interference. Well, guess what? Bill Owens has just retired, and his answer is, quote, "It has become clear that I would not be allowed to run the show as I have always run it." What do you mean, Bill? Can you clarify? You mean lie to the American public? You mean have biased, of skewed reports that lean onto one political side of the spectrum more strongly and more headstrong than any other? What are you talking about? You're supposed to be an objective. 60 Minutes had reverence in the Mike Wallace era. Even in the 90s, 60 Minutes had credibility, had ethos. So I don't really understand what you mean, Bill. Can you explain yourself? What do you mean that it becomes clear that you cannot be allowed to run the show the way you've always run it? How have you always been running? Have you been running it the same way that you always have been, that the Trump lawsuit seems to declare? I don't know. It seems really funny that quote coincides with verifiable video evidence, proof that they doctored the Kamala Harris interview, which was no other way of putting it, election interference 101, 100%. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Okay, I love this next segment. Watch this clip of Maryland residents talking about the Maryland Dad, MS-13 terrorist gang member Kilmar Abrego Garcia, that their representatives, talk about taxation without representation, are headed off in private jets on taxpayers' dime, all to shoot stupid TikTok videos as a horrific PR stunt. Listen to what they have to say to their elected representatives and the world. Watch this.
He was living in Maryland, designated MS-13 terrorist, and Donald Trump deported him. How does that make you feel?
I feel safer.
He gotta go. He gotta go.
Need to go. I mean, that's it.
But he was a father.
But he's still a terrorist.
Okay. I mean, but there's children living without fathers now.
He should have picked it you, so he picked to be a terrorist instead of worrying about his children.
The Democrats, they want him back. They say he was wrongfully deported. He has a wife and a kid who's a citizen. They're calling this a national emergency. Is this a national emergency?
I wouldn't call it a national emergency. We got more things going on.
We have more things, more fish to fry.
I just found out about it, so I don't think so. What kind of national emergency? For what? What is the emergency for?
Ain't no national emergency, no.
He was accused of hitting his wife twice and was a suspected human smuggler. Was he wrongfully deported?
No. He need to go.
If he's a smuggler, yeah, he needs to be deported.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Your senator here, Chris Van Hollen, he flew to El Salvador where this guy was deported. He met with them, had lunch with them, had margaritas on the table. What's up with your senator?
I have no idea, but I do believe that was a waste of taxpayer dollars.
You agreeing with somebody whooping their wife, terrorizing where you live, then you don't need to live here either.
Senator Van Hollen, you need to come see me, Mr. Coley, because you doing like that. You need to take care of home before you go to other states.
He went to El Salvador.
Oh, that's another country, excuse me.
What has Senator Chris Van Hollen ever done for you?
Nothing.
Nothing. For me, nothing.
Nothing that I know of.
He ain't do me. I can admit that.
I've never even heard of this person.
Do you want Kilmar Abrego Garcia, this quote-unquote Maryland dad, living back in Maryland?
No. No.
No. No.
Not if he's doing trafficking, no. Why I want somebody like that back? No.
What is your message to the Democrats who really want him back in your community?
Why would you want that in my community? Bring it to your community and see how long you like it up there.
Leave them, or y'all go over there with them.
You're focused on the wrong thing.
If they illegal.
Well, you heard it from Maryland residents. I mean, it's interesting how Van Hollow, it's not interesting. It's really tragic that not even a note of consoling, not even a note of, I'm sorry to Patty Marin. It's bad enough that he didn't even ask Abrego Garcia if he's a member of a gang. He didn't even ask his own constituents. You're supposed to be representing the citizens of Maryland in the United States House of Representatives. And half these people don't even know who you are. They can't name one thing that you've done for them. I think that's a bad look. And again, it just feeds the hypocrisy that these guys seem to constantly elicit day in and day out. A lot to digest right there. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Okay, and finally, Minnesota state employee Dylan Bryan Adams, who was reportedly arrested for causing over $20,000 in damages to Teslas in Minneapolis after he vandalized them because he's absolute cuckoo. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office has decided not to file criminal charges. So here is the judge who decided not to press charges, and get this. He is the same exact judge back in 2023 who allowed accused rapists and killers to stay free and drop charges back to basic probation. Another woke judge putting criminals first. These are the same judges who are trying to play president by stopping our administration, the American people have spoken, President Trump, from carrying out everything that he promised his campaign, including deporting illegal criminal migrant aliens. So if you love America, I need you to tap the thumbs up, share this everywhere. Share this with everybody you know. Share this with all your coworkers, neighbors, loved ones, family, friends, on your social media posts. Share it. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us immensely. We got to keep our country sane. People need to know the truth. Please do that. Thank you so, so much. Make sure you check out these videos right here. I just posted this right here. Click on that right now. Tap my face right here to subscribe and follow. It's absolutely free. Our free newsletter is also in the pinned comment, as well as our one-of-a-kind original Nez Nation merch shop. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you soon.